The books are The Mental Equivalent by Emmet Fox, The Art of the Storm by Gary Simmons, Conflict Resolutions and Peacemaking, and The Science of Being Great by Waddle D. Wattles. These 3 books that I'm going to talk to you about will help you build your self-confidence. They are books that I have read and have applied the principles in them to build my own self-confidence and to remain driven towards my goals and aspirations. The first book actually is a booklet. It is The Mental Equivalent by Emmet Fox, a notable New Thought leader and writer. This small booklet is the secret to demonstrations. I learned about Emmet Fox back in the 1990s while attending the First Church of Religious Science in New York City. At the time, Dr. Stuart Grayson was the religious science minister, and he often quoted Emmet Fox on saying, "You must have the mental equivalent of what you desire." This booklet, published in 1943, comes from 2 lectures delivered by Emmet Fox at Unity. Emmet starts us off by telling us that we practice the presence of God by seeing God everywhere, despite appearances to the contrary. We learn through Emmet's teaching that this is a mental world. Most people think it is a material world, and that is why humanity has problems. Once you know you live in a mental world, you learn this is the key to your life. Now, what do I mean? How does this build your self-confidence? I'm going to tell you. Here in the booklet, Emmet says, anything you want in your life, a healthy body, friends, opportunities, a good job, a better business, anything you can imagine, you must first furnish a mental equivalent of it. Supply yourself with a mental equivalent, and the thing must come to you. Without a mental equivalent, it cannot come. Simply put, you must have what you desire in your mind first. Want more self-confidence? Get it in your mind first. See yourself being the person you want to be. Now, don't take this lightly. I did at first until I started testing this mental equivalent stuff that Emmet Fox was speaking about. I started with something simple, like a cup of tea. Yes, Dr. Stuart Grayson encouraged us, students at the time, when we were taking the classes at the religious science. He said to start small so you can help build your faith in yourself and in the infinite one, which I call God. So one day after class, we had Thursday science and mind classes at First Church of Religious Science. I wanted a hot cup of tea. It was a wintry day, and it was evening, and it was cold and snowing. I was heading to the subway, and I saw a sign for pizza. It was half price because, it was late in the evening. So I went into, to the establishment to get a slice, and the man behind the counter asked me, would I like a cup of tea? And I said, yes. I got my slice of pizza, and he gave me the cup of tea for free. He said he was cleaning up and closing up in the process, and, I walked in. So there it was, a free cup of tea in New York City. Okay, so here it is in a nutshell. The secret of successful living is to build the mental equivalent that you want and to rid yourself of the mental equivalent that you do not want. Think on what you want, not on what you don't want. Are you starting to get it? For me, I had to stay so focused on what I wanted to be, do, and have that the outside world and all this chaos, distraction, and verbal noises were null and void to me. I kept working on myself. That's how my self-confidence was built. It was built on solid truths, not wishing and hoping. And along with my self-confidence and directed determination came my faith. It had to, because I saw my life changing from the inside out for the better. Emmet Fox puts my words this way. The key to life is to build the mental equivalence of what you want and to expunge the equivalence of what you do not want. Now, how do you do it? How do you build the mental equivalence? This is how you do it. You do it by thinking quietly, constantly, and persistently of the kind of thing you do want. Thinking has two qualities: clarity and definiteness of interest. If you want to bring anything into your life, if you want health, right, activity, or place in life, inspiration, if you want to bring rich companionship, form a mental equivalent of the thing you want by thinking about it a great deal, by thinking clearly and with interest. And I'm going to add feeling to it. Remember, clarity and interest, these are the two poles. And here are 3 quotes I will leave you with from the booklet, The Mental Equivalent by Emmet Fox. Number 1, if you want to change some condition in your life, you must change your thought about it and keep it changed. 2, you experience in the outer what you really think in the inner. Number 3, do not talk about the negative thing or act as if it were there. Act your part as though the new condition, your self-confidence, was already manifested in your outer world. Yes, 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 yes. I recommend you purchase this booklet, not only for your self-confidence, but to help you live a faith-filled, prosperous, healthy life. The second book is The Eye of the Storm, Embracing Conflict, Creating Peace by Gary Simmons. Dr. Gary Simmons is an ordained Unity minister. He began his innovative work in the field of conflict management in 1993. Now, why is this a good book to own and read for self-confidence? Let's see. Well, the first reason is in the first chapter of the book. The chapter is titled, No One is Against You. What? Don't we sometimes, maybe often, think that someone is against us? And when we think that, does that, build our self-confidence or lower our self-confidence? Gary states to us in the introduction, no one is against you. This is the absolute truth. You may not believe it now. You may have a lifetime of evidence to the contrary. But until you realize that the entire universe is for you, you may never experience your wholeness and true worth. Did that wake you up? Listen, when I first read that, I was taking a quantum living course. And when I was reading this book with my church group, I had to open my mind more to encompass all that was written. Well, it wasn't too hard since I had been a student of the science of mind teaching for some years. But this particular living formula I had not encountered in my studies. Gary goes on to write about the new paradigm for wholeness. Yes, there is a paradigm. Paradigm means an example or a pattern of something. Gary says, wholeness is not outside of you, or is it separate from you? It is the essence of your true nature and spiritual identity. And because wholeness is the foundation of your being, nothing can oppose you. It will help you see that what arises as an adversary in your life comes from within you. Yes, conflicts, challenges, and interpersonal difficulties are dynamic energies within which we can move authentically and appropriately, so long as we remember that these forces aren't against us. Did you get that? What I got when I first read it, and reread it, is now that everything is within us. We are the makers of our own world. Our self-confidence is already within us. We have to, in my opinion, remove the mental fears, obstacles, doubts, and let it emerge and build on that positiveness that emerges from us. Okay, I won't go through the whole book, but I always like to leave you with some points from the book that you can work with if you choose. And number 1 is, your enemy is simply a mirror to that place inside yourself where you are not connected to God. 2, Depending upon where our attention is, we are either at the center or at the circumference of our lives. And three, remember whatever insecurities or fears you have, they are not who you really are. And yes, I suggest you purchase the book because if you are anything like me, you are going to be highlighting a lot. The last and final book I will recommend for building and sustaining your self-confidence is The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles. Wallace D. Wattles was a New Thought writer. He has 3 books that I really like: The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Well, and this book, The Science of Being Great. I came to know about Wallace D. Wattles from reading Ines Singateri's book, Making What Your Means Can Buy. Now, in the book, Ines mentions how Wallace D. Wattles' book, The Science of Getting Rich, helped her. Her book isn't on my list here, but I do suggest you read it. The artwork was contributed by her sister Deborah Singateri, and it's great. The artwork and the book. Now, Wattles writes in the chapter, Anyone May Become Great, this: man has an inherent power by which he may grow in whatsoever direction he pleases, and there does not appear to be any limit to the possibilities of his growth. You know what that tells me? That tells me that you and I can have the self-confidence to live the dreams we dream, implement the goals we have, and grow our lives for the betterment for ourselves and humanity. And there is more. Waddle writes, all the experiences of life are designed by providence to force men and women into self-activity, to compel them to cease being creatures of circumstances and master their environment. We got to get up off of our butts, B-U-T-S and B-U-T-T-S, and get active in our own lives. We are soul creatures. We are self-confident in the good we can do for others, family, friends, and humanity. I hope you do get to read these books and expand your awareness of your ability to be self-confident and have faith in knowing that all is well with you. You are not broken. Please feel free to leave a gentle comment and subscribe to the channel because you know what? The best is yet to come, and I'll see you at the top.